Good evening. Could I have a motion to open this meeting? A first. Lisa, a second. Alex, all in favor? I would like to take a motion to enter into executive session for purposes of personnel and legal. May I have a first? Alex, second. Bill, all in favor?
Thank
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Board has returned from executive session and there were no actions taken. Can I have a motion to open the meeting? A first. Lisa, a second. Alex, all in favor? Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. First on the agenda are recommendations regarding tenure.
And we're here on tenure. At Cold Spring Harbor, we believe that tenure is a dynamic and evolving craft that grows through reflection, collaboration, and a deep commitment to student success. Throughout our probationary years, you have engaged in continuous growth, guided by meaningful feedback, and grounded in 4 central domains: planning, classroom environment, instruction, and professional responsibilities. Earning tenure is more than a recognition of what you have accomplished. It is a celebration of the potential and reflection of our confidence in you to continue to grow. Throughout ongoing observations, collaborations, dialogue, and the administrative team has witnessed your dedication, adaptability, and meaningful impact you have on our students each day. Tenure is a significant milestone, and it carries with it great responsibility. It is often described as a multi-million-dollar decision, an investment in you, your future, and the belief that great teachers shape the path forward for our students and our district. You have demonstrated that you are not only ready for this next chapter, but you will continue to grow, inspire, and lead. Congratulations on this well-earned achievement, and we look forward to great optimism to all that lies ahead. So first, we're going to have our administrators come up and speak about various people who are receiving tenure. I'm actually going to speak about Ms. Cosme. Ms. Cosme, come on up. It is my pleasure to recommend Ms. Cosme, Principal of Goose Hill Primary School, for tenure. Goose Hill is often described as a warm hug. And it is that reflection, and is that direct reflection of Ms. Cosme's leadership. She has created an environment where students, parents, and staff feel warm, welcome, and truly part of the school community, while also fostering meaningful academic and personal growth. Ms. Cosme leads with a clear, student-centered vision that connects school culture, high-quality instruction, and strong systems of support. She has aligned responsive classroom and growth mindset practices with a focus on early literacy and early language development, ensuring that a positive culture directly supports student achievement. She is deeply committed to instructional excellence by aligning K-1 practices with the science of reading, implementing programs of integrity, and the step up to learn, and using data to guide instruction. She ensures strong outcomes for all learners while building teacher capacity through ongoing support and feedback. Ms. Cosme has also expanded opportunities for students through increased access to field trips, partnership with the Long Island Children's Museum to enhance STEAM learning, and the introduction and comprehensive after-school club programs for all kindergarten and first grade students. She is visible and approachable leader who fosters strong relationships across the school community. Her efforts have strengthened family engagement and created a collaborative, inclusive environment. At the same time, she maintains effective and efficient collaborations that support safety and maximizes instructional time. Ms. Cosme's leadership reflects integrity, purpose, and deep commitment to student success. She continues to make a meaningful impact not only at Goose Hill, but across the district. I would also like to recognize her recent kindergarten parent orientation held last week, which was well attended and concluded with a round of applause at the end, demonstrating her commitment to our students and parents. The evening truly felt like a warm hug for all from the kindergarten area. Thank you, Ms. Cosme. I don't have a list in front of you. This is the must meeting next? I think you are. We'll give flowers and everything else. Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce the first candidate for tenure from the junior senior high school. This is Angelica Ferraro. It is my distinct pleasure to recommend Mrs. Angelica Ferraro for tenure as a school counselor at Cold Spring Harbor Junior Senior High School. Throughout her probationary period, Mrs. Ferraro has demonstrated exemplary professional performance coupled with a steadfast commitment to ongoing growth, student advocacy, and meaningful contributions to the Cold Spring Harbor community. She approaches her work with intentional reflection and a clear dedication to the continuous improvement of our students. She collaborates extremely closely with her colleagues to evaluate and strengthen the comprehensive school counseling program, ensuring it remains responsive to our students' needs. Her commitment to professional excellence is further reflected in her pursuit of advanced studies in educational leadership at Stony Brook University, as well as her active participation in the Future Leaders Academy and a wide range of professional development opportunities spanning whirlwind college admissions tours, student wellness, and academic planning. Through these efforts, she ensures that her practice remains current, informed, and impactful. Her communication with families is exemplary and reflects a high level of professionalism and transparency. Ms. Ferraro responds promptly and thoughtfully to both parent and student inquiries, fostering trust and consistency. By actively including students in these conversations, she promotes alignment among all stakeholders and empowers students and families to make well-informed decisions regarding academic pathways and post-secondary planning. Beyond her caseload, Ms. Ferraro is a valued and engaged member of the school community. She serves as co-advisor of natural helpers and contributes meaningfully as an ongoing member of the school improvement team, offering thoughtful insights on initiatives such as grading practices and cell phone procedures. Her presence at key school events, including new student orientation, international night, sports night, senior awards, and the Naviance Parent Workshop, demonstrate her genuine investment in the overall student experience. Most importantly, Ms. Ferraro is compassionate and a dedicated advocate for her students. She cultivates a supportive and inclusive environment through regular check-ins and attentive listening. She's particularly skilled in fostering student self-advocacy, guiding students through processes such as course selection with a focus on helping them understand expectations and make purposeful choices aligned with their own goals. Whether collaborating with faculty and support staff or adapting her approach to meet individual needs, her unwavering focus remains on student growth, well-being, and success. She brings together an exceptional organizational ability, professional expertise, and a deep sense of empathy. She is an invaluable member of the Cold Spring Harbor community and faculty, and we recommend her for tenure with the highest level of confidence. Also from our school counseling program, Mrs. Jacqueline Kovacs-Devlin. It is with great pride that I offer this letter of recommendation for Mrs. Kovacs-Devlin in support of her tenure at Cold Spring Harbor Junior Senior High School. Since joining our district, she has distinguished herself as a dedicated professional who seamlessly balances high-level expertise with a genuine and compassionate commitment to student advocacy. She approaches her counseling work with intention and thoughtfulness, ensuring her practice remains closely aligned with the needs of her students. She demonstrates notable expertise in college admissions counseling as well as career exploration, supporting students as they navigate the early stages of self-discovery. Rather than merely being a conduit of information, she thoughtfully uses counseling tools and structured guidance activities to cultivate self-awareness, enabling students to make informed and purposeful decisions about their future. Beyond her curricular work, she's highly attuned to the social and emotional needs of our student population. She possesses an innate ability to build rapport and establish trust, creating an environment where students feel safe sharing their perspectives and uncertainties. Her impact extends well beyond the individual student interactions she has from day to day.
She serves as a proactive and supportive resource for families, guiding them through academic planning and the nuances of college readiness with professionalism and utmost care. Among her colleagues and with the broader school community, she is a valued collaborator who consistently brings a positive, team-oriented mindset to her work. Her unwavering dedication to students and her ability to cultivate strong, trusting relationships makes her an indispensable member of the counseling department. She is a thoughtful, skilled, and compassionate professional whose contributions have already made a meaningful impact on our students, families, and staff, and it is our distinct pleasure to recommend her for continued growth and tenure here at Colston Harbor Junior Senior High School. And the final nominee, or nominee, is that the right word? Our final candidate for tenure nominee is Nicole Iannitelli from our math department. It is with the utmost professional conviction I submit a formal endorsement for Mrs. Nicole Iannitelli. Over the course of the last several academic years, I've had the opportunity to work closely with Mrs. Iannitelli and observe her professional practice firsthand. She's an educator of the highest caliber whose work is defined by a rare combination of instructional rigor, technological innovation, and a profound commitment to the social, emotional, and academic growth of all of her students. She is a teacher whose impact extends well beyond the walls of her classroom, and the long-term benefit to the district in retaining an educator of her quality cannot be overstated. She has consistently demonstrated excellence across all domains of the Danielson framework for teaching, with particularly notable strengths in the area of classroom environment and instruction. These qualities are evident any time someone enters her classroom. She creates a learning environment where students are engaged, expectations are clear, and academic growth is consistently prioritized. Her work exemplifies the standards of excellence that districts seek to cultivate and sustain. The most immediate evidence of Mrs. Iannitelli's value to our district is the cognitively vibrant environment she has cultivated in her classroom. I have repeatedly observed her greeting every student at the door with a smile and a warm welcome, setting an inclusive and positive tone long before instruction even begins. This rapport is not merely social in nature, it is the foundation for a classroom where students feel safe taking intellectual risks, asking questions, and persevering through productive struggle. Her ability to manage diverse groups of junior high learners is exemplary, whether working with highly social students or those who believe they've already mastered the material. Her tone is always respectful, and it's a focused atmosphere through subtle and preventative management techniques. I have seen students enter her room, independently gather materials such as her famous clicker cards and whiteboards, and immediately begin opening activities with absolutely no prompting. As a result, instructional time is maximized and students understand that learning begins the moment they enter her room. Equally impressive is her mastery of pedagogy and content. She demonstrates extensive knowledge of mathematics and an equally strong understanding of child development. Her planning reflects a deep awareness of prerequisite skills and vertical alignment. She understands that fluency with multi-step equations is foundational for success through grade 8 mathematics and an essential participation for future coursework in algebra and geometry. Her instruction is characterized by artful scaffolding and clarity of purpose. She makes complex topics accessible by breaking them into manageable steps while maintaining rigorous expectations. Students are guided through challenging concepts such as rational equations, scientific notation, and geometric angle relationships. She frequently connects abstract ideas to relatable student experiences, such as using lunch tables to help students visualize corresponding angles. To further support mastery, she employs structured strategies which allow students to build confidence while developing a conceptual understanding and procedural fluency. A hallmark of her practice is sophisticated use of formative assessment to drive her instruction. She integrates her technology in meaningful ways to strengthen, not replace, sound teaching practices. She regularly uses Plickers cards to gather real-time data on individual student understanding, which allows her to pause instruction, address misconception, and re-enter the class when necessary. This type of immediate feedback ensures that students remain engaged and that all learning gaps are addressed promptly. She has also designed several self-checking Google Sheets activities which make assessments interactive and motivating for students. One of my personal favorites was her Halloween-themed riddle, in which cells change color based on the accuracy of student responses. Through this system, the students are able to independently self-assess, revise their work, and persist through productive struggle. This creative approach reflects her ability to blend innovation with purposeful instruction and design. Her commitment to differentiation is equally commendable. She designs exit tickets and checks for understanding that account for all varying readiness levels. She incorporates hints and scaffolds for students with individualized learning needs, while also providing extension problems for students who demonstrate early mastery. She uses the resulting data thoughtfully to prepare the next day's instruction, adjusting her pacing and ensuring that each learner in her class has received the support or extension necessary for their own continued growth. Beyond her classroom, she is a deeply reflective practitioner. In professional conversations, she always demonstrates the desire to refine her craft, whether by adjusting lesson pacing to improve clarity or by developing new strategies to promote student-led mathematic dialogue. She welcomes feedback, seeks it out actively, analyzes outcomes, and continually seeks ways to strengthen her already exceptional practice. This mindset is continuous improvement, and it's one that defines the qualities of an outstanding educator. The benefit to the school district in retaining a teacher of her quality cannot be overstated. Mrs. Iannitelli is not only preparing her students for the immediate demands of the grade 8 curriculum, she is equipping them with the foundational skills, habits of mind, and confidence required for their entire secondary mathematics career. She strengthens our faculty, elevates our student outcomes, and contributes positively to our culture of our school. It is my sincere encouragement and recommendation for Nicole Iannitelli to receive that.
Good evening, everyone. Mrs. Angela Genova, could I have you come on down? It is my pleasure to stand before you tonight to present my formal recommendation for tenure for Miss Angela Genova. Ms. Genova has served as a 4th grade teacher at Lloyd Harbor School since August of 2023. She joined our community with 17 years of experience in the New York City public and charter school systems, and from the very first day she stepped foot on our campus, she brought a level of expertise, professionalism, and dedication that has had an immediate and lasting impact on both students and our faculty. Her work in our 4th grade has not only strengthened the instructional program, but has also elevated the collaborative practices of our entire 4th grade level team. Mrs. Genova has created a classroom environment that is warm, structured, and intellectually engaging. She sets high expectations for all students and is unwavering in her commitment to ensuring that each child is both supported and challenged. Her teaching is intentional and grounded in data. She consistently uses student performance to inform her planning, to differentiate instruction, and to provide targeted small group support. As a result, her instruction is responsive, precise, and highly effective in meeting the diverse needs of our learners. In my observations over the past 2 years as her principal, I have consistently seen student-centered instruction that is rigorous, engaging, and thoughtfully differentiated. Ms. Genova designs learning experiences that promote student voice, critical thinking, and collaboration. Her students are active participants in their learning and demonstrate both confidence and a willingness to take academic risks, hallmarks of a strong and supportive classroom culture. Beyond the classroom, Mrs. Genova is a highly respected member of our faculty. She is collaborative and dependable. She contributes meaningfully to her team. She is our lead teacher this year in the 4th grade, and she also serves our broader school community. She actively engages in professional development and participates in our school initiatives, such as our student improvement team, sports night, PTG clubs, the list goes on. Her work ethic is exceptional, and her commitment to our students is evident in everything that she does. It is clear that Mrs. Genova is an outstanding educator whose presence has strengthened Lloyd Harbor School. She embodies the qualities we value most in our teachers: dedication, professionalism, collaboration, and an unwavering focus on student success. It is with great pride and enthusiasm that I recommend Mrs. Angela Genova for tenure. I am confident that she will continue to make a profound and positive impact on our students and our school community for many years to come.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. It is a thrill to invite Miss Jamie Hastings to come on down. It is my absolute pleasure to stand before you tonight, Board of Education, Mr. Monastero, to recommend Miss Jamie Hastings for tenure in Colesburg Harbor School District. Ms. Hastings joined Westside School after a successful 12-year career in the New York City Department of Education. And from the very beginning, it was clear that she is dedicated, reflective, and a highly skilled educator. Over the past 3 years, Jamie has demonstrated a remarkable ability to grow, adapt, and lead in a variety of roles. In Colesburg Harbor, Ms. Hastings began as a fourth-grade teacher, where she built immediately strong relationships with her students and used thoughtful, data-driven instruction to meet their individual needs. In her second year, she very willingly transitioned to sixth grade and then into our STEAM CLL position, where she embraced new challenges with both professionalism and confidence. This year, as our CLL STEAM teacher serving grades 2 through 6 of both Lloyd Harbor and Westside, Ms. Hastings has truly distinguished herself. She has designed innovative, interdisciplinary learning experiences in coding, robotics, and technology that engage students in meaningful and creative ways. Her work not only builds critical thinking and problem-solving skills, but also helps students to see themselves as creators and innovators. Beyond her classroom, Ms. Hastings is a leader among her colleagues. She provides technology support, she's presented at faculty meetings, she coaches our hackathon team, and she contributes to many school-wide initiatives. She is dependable, collaborative, and deeply committed to our students and our school community. Most importantly, she cares deeply, and she is consistently creating an environment where students feel supported, challenged, and inspired. For all these reasons, I recommend Jamie Hastings for tenure without reservation. I am confident she will continue to make a lasting impact on our school community for many years to come. Ms. Dawn Ragusa, come on down. Give her a round of applause. It is my pleasure to recommend Ms. Dawn Ragusa for tenure in Colesburg Harbor School District. Ms. Ragusa currently serves as a grade 6 mathematics teacher, and this year she serves as our Westside School lead teacher. From the moment she joined our school district, after 16 years of working in the New York City Department of Ed, she has demonstrated a deep commitment to student learning and a thoughtful, reflective approach to her craft. In the classroom, Ms. Ragusa delivers structured, engaging lessons that build strong conceptual understanding. In a recent observation, she guided students seamlessly through complex concepts, helping them make meaningful connections between fractions, decimals, and percents. Not so easy. Her classroom is a place where routines are strong, expectations are clear, and students feel comfortable taking risks and sharing their thinking. What truly sets Ms. Ragusa apart is her ability to respond to students in the moment, where she's able to adjust instruction, ask purposeful questions, and ensure that all of our learners are supported and challenged. Her students are engaged, confident, and actively involved in their learning. Ms. Ragusa is a leader in our building. She serves as an active member of our school improvement team. She contributes to important school-wide initiatives. She has completed her school administrator program, further demonstrating her commitment to her own professional growth and leadership. She has also played a key role in leading and helping with our school assemblies, and specifically supporting the rollout of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Kids, which helps to strengthen our school culture and our shared values. Ms. Ragusa is collaborative, dedicated, and a forward-thinking educator who continues to seek opportunities to grow and refine her practice. She is exactly the kind of professional we are proud to have the West Side. It is without hesitation that I recommend Ms. Dawn Ragusa for tenure. Ms. Natasha Moore, come on down. It truly is my pleasure to stand before you tonight to recommend Ms. Natasha Moore for tenure in the Cold Spring Harbor School District. Since joining our district in March of 2020, Natasha has distinguished herself as an exceptional educator and an unwavering advocate for our English language learners. She brings a rare combination of expertise in E&L, special education, and general education, which allows her to meet students exactly where they are, and she works diligently to move them forward with purpose and with confidence. Natasha's classroom presence is marked by thoughtful, differentiated instruction and a deep understanding of how students acquire language. She consistently creates learning environments where students feel both supported and challenged, but more importantly, empowered to take risk. Her work in preparing students for the NICES lab, in administering the NICES Tell, and using data to drive instruction has been both meticulous, impactful, and oh so helpful. Beyond her direct work with students, Natasha is a true team player. She collaborates closely with colleagues, contributes to district committees, and actively participates in our school and district events, from international celebrations to student activities, to this past weekend's West Side fundraiser at Barnes & Noble with her beautiful family. Ms. Moore helps to strengthen the fabric of our school community. Most importantly, Natasha cares deeply about her students and our district. That commitment is evident in everything she does. For all these reasons, I am proud to wholeheartedly recommend Ms. Natasha Moore for tenure. I am confident she will continue to make a lasting difference in Cold Spring Harbor for years to come.
Ms. Sarah McDonald, come on down. Good evening, Mr. Monastero, members of the Board of Education, and members of our school community. I am pleased and honored to stand before you tonight to recommend Ms. Sarah McDonald for tenure. Ms. McDonald joined the Goose Hill family in 2022 as a first grade teacher, and since then has proven herself to be an exceptional educator and someone who has seamlessly integrated into our building in every way. Her classroom environment is a model for our youngest learners, structured, engaging, joyful, and thoughtfully differentiated. She has that special ability to balance strong academic expectations with the understanding that sometimes a 6-year-old just needs a little extra time, encouragement, or even a well-timed energizer break. Ms. McDonald is deeply committed to her students and families. Her newsletters keep parents informed and connected, often making us all wish we were back in first grade just to be part of her class. She knows how to build strong relationships and create a classroom community where students feel safe, supported, and excited to learn. She is also a true professional and lifelong learner, continuously refining her practice, collaborating with colleagues, and embracing new initiatives. Whether it's piloting our integrated co-teaching classroom, contributing to curriculum writing, or opening her classroom as a model lab site for the launch of our newly adopted math curriculum. Sarah consistently goes above and beyond. Most importantly, she approaches everything she does with positivity, kindness, and a genuine love for teaching. The kind of teacher who not only plans every lesson with care, but probably has the materials prepped, labeled, and ready before most of us have had our first cup of coffee. Beyond her classroom, Ms. McDonald is an active member of our school community, contributing to committees, district-wide initiatives, and events that strengthen our culture and support our students. Simply put, Sarah McDonald represents the very best of Goose Hill and our district. It is without hesitation and with great pride that I recommend her for tenure. I am confident she will continue to make a lasting impact on our students, families, and colleagues for many years to come. Thank you and congratulations.
Congratulations to all our tenure recipients. Now, I would like to have Mr. Monson that are. I will take all tenure recommendations as a slate. We will take tenure recommendations on page 1 and 2 as a slate. We have a first, Lisa a second, Alex. Any questions? All in favor? Congratulations. Mr. Montanaro, would you like to speak about our retirees?
Yes, I would. On behalf of the entire Cold Spring Harbor Central School District, I extend my sincere gratitude and heartfelt congratulations. Ere to begin, well-deserved next chapter in your lives. Each of you have contributed in extraordinary ways to the heart and spirit of Cold Spring Harbor, whether it's in the classroom, behind the scenes, or through the countless everyday moments that shape our students' experiences. Your dedication, talent, and care have left an indelible mark on our school community. You have inspired curiosity, nurtured potential, built confidence, and most importantly, helped create an environment where children feel supported and empowered to thrive. Retirement marks the close of one chapter, but your legacy will continue to live on. The minds you have opened, the lives you have touched, and the example you have set for those who follow. Leave behind not only a record of excellence, but a lasting spirit of kindness, perseverance, and pride that defines what it means to be part of this exceptional district. As you turn the page to your new adventures, please know that you carry with you the deep admiration and appreciation of the entire community. You will always be a valuable part of the Cold Spring Harbor family. We hope you look back on your years here with the same pride and fondness with which we honor you here today. With heartfelt thanks and warm wishes for joy, health, and new beginnings. Congratulations on your retirement. So the first person we speak is Joe Mandalari. Joe, one down.
Tonight we celebrate someone whose impact on Cold Spring Harbor has been both profound and lasting. For more than 40 years, Mr. Joseph Mandalari has been a constant, trusted, and deeply valued presence in our school community. Joe began his career here as a part-time role in 1985, and in 1989 stepped into a full-time position. From that moment on, he committed himself fully to the district. Quietly, consistently, and with a level of pride that is rare and truly admirable. He is the one who headed out at 4 a.m. on icy winter mornings to check road conditions and snowfall, long before many of us were awake. And he is the one who stayed late into the night, plowing and clearing, often through long and difficult winters, making sure our schools could open safely with our community could continue without interruption. But Joe's work goes far beyond snow removal. He has had a tremendous pride in the beauty of our grounds. With an eye of an artist and the care of a true craftsman, he has helped shape the look and feel of our campuses. Because of Joe, our schools are not just functional spaces, they are They are places of pride, warmth, and welcome for students and families. And beyond the ground, the jail has been there for everything, from organizing parking at major events, to directing traffic, assisting families, stepping in to solve whatever challenge might arise. He has always approached his work with professionalism and patience. Day or night, Joe has been someone you could count on, reliable, hardworking, and always ready with a bit of humor when needed the most. Joe, your dedication, work ethic, and your pride in what you have left is absolutely amazing for Cold Spring Harbor. You have helped shape not only our physical environment, but the very spirit of our community. On behalf of all of us, I thank you for your extraordinary service, your commitment, and your heart. Congratulations on your retirement.
Mr. Monastero often refers to the Cold Spring Harbor family when he speaks to staff. This is something I did last year and stepped out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to try to do it again. Much easier when we get like advance notice on retirees and we get those names in early. But I'm going to start by asking all of the people to come in. First, I'd like to welcome up, after 35 years in education, from our English department, Jeannie Glynn. Celebrating 37 years of service to education, Doc Andrews. Celebrating 30 years as a dedicated teacher, Karen Athanasio. Retiring after a decade of service, Mrs. Janet Brancaccio. Also retiring after 10 years of service, Mama Ball. Celebrating completion of 15 years of service, Christine Ryan. I don't think she's here with us, but certainly worthy of recognition, celebrating 17 years of service, Denise Vigila. Also unable to be with us this evening, but celebrating over 2 decades of service, Carol Sy. So if you were doing the math, as I was reading those numbers off, that's a total of 174 combined years of service to children, which, in my opinion, there is no greater calling than to serve children. So congratulations. I did this last year. I managed to not make a fool of myself, so I thought I'd try it again. This year's poem is entitled, "The Harbor Holds Their Echoes." Mr. Monastero's going to have to field it. A poem for the retiring staff members, the Cold Spring Harbor class of 2026. At Cold Spring Harbor, where the North Shore waters bright, halls are filled with nonstop learning light. 8 treasured names will close this year with endless gratitude, applause, and cheer. Not endings here, but doors swung wide to journeys waiting just outside. For those who gave all with heart and grace, they leave their lasting footprints in this place. First, Jeannie Glynn, with books in hand, an English guide, both wise and grand. For 26 years in our halls, she answered learning's most noble calls. From freshmen first to seniors fully grown, she made each classroom thought's true home. With Shakespeare's wit and a poet's fire, she helped young minds climb ever higher. She taught AP with careful art, yet she always managed to connect with her students' heart. And every essay marked with care showed just how much Jeannie truly was there. Now passports call and pages wait, with Marty by her side of late. May every sunrise find her free with novels and her daughters and the sea. Then Dr. Andrews takes the floor, a scholar certainly known from shore to shore. For 30 years, he has led the way, making history come alive each and every day. From ancient worlds to modern times, from legal codes to speeches fine, he brought the globe into his room, and he made dull dates begin to bloom. Debate teams sharpened by his hand, model Congress learned to stand. With honors earned through work profound, his excellence is widely renowned. Yet he still taught with humble pride and kept his students at his side. Now Carolina calls anew, still teaching there as the great ones do. Karen Athanasio, vibrant and bright, who brought both passion and insight. For 23 years within these walls, she has answered learning's higher calls. From U.S. history to the mind, in psychology, new paths she continuously finds. AP courses, research too, she built strong programs, fresh and true. With curiosity serving as her guide, she kept her students close beside. Real-world lessons, bold and clear, helped every learner persevere. From Stuyvesant to the harbor halls, her influence still proudly calls. A pioneer with purpose strong, who showed all students truly belong. Now history calls out her name once more, through Northport's past and so much more. With travel, family, projects grand, and I understand dreams like a barn rebuilt by hand. With Michael, Aiden, Joseph, Dan, she begins this next great plan. Mrs. Brancaccio, steady and true, whose care shone brightly in all she do. From classroom doors to halls well known, she made each space feel like a home. A trusted guide through every day, supporting every learner on their way. With the utmost patience and kindness clear, she helped every student persevere. From substitute to constant hand, a presence that all could understand. With special care for every need, she helped each learner grow and succeed. Her work, unseen at times yet strong, lifted so many along. With empathy and purpose bright, she brought her best from morn to night. Now onward to a well-earned rest, with time for all she loves best. Her impact here will long remain in every life she helped to gain. Then Kathy Ball, oh, our Mama Ball, who somehow knew and loved us all. The junior high cafeteria queen, yet the calmest force you will ever see. Where younger students, nervous, shy, would walk in with an uncertain eye, her smile would say, "You'll be just fine," and make the hardest morning shine. At games, at trips, events near, far, she always was our guiding star. From Brookville paths to DC tours, her helping hand was always yours. Now grandkids 3 will call her near, a title she will proudly wear. And if they test her now and then, she's trained for that since way back when. Christine Riley, next we praise, whose kindness brightened countless days. The writing lab became a place where students found support and grace. She edited with an eagle eye, caught every detail passing by. Programs, posters, forms galore, she somehow always just handled more. Yet no request from child or peer was ever met with doubt or fear. No matter how the workload grew, she still made time to help you through. A steady smile, a thoughtful way, she made us all better every day. Retirement is now hers to claim, though we still speak her grateful name. Then Denise Bigelow, organized and wise, certainly stylish and a sparkle in her eyes. From substitute to office lead, she filled each role with skill and speed. The field house hummed beneath her care, schedules, uniforms, and buses everywhere. Then district tasks and office calls, she mastered all within these walls. The main office general, calm and strong, who kept all of the moving parts along. With humor warm and standards high, she taught us all how to truly try. Now Florida sunshine lights her way for slower mornings and brighter days, yet every office still can tell they knew Denise and they knew her well. And Carol sighed, precise and true, who always seemed to know just what to do. The guardian of purchase codes who lightened extremely heavy loads. Her famous folder, bright in red, brought forms and signatures instead. Instead of panic, delay, or missing things, she kept supplies with ordered wings. She knew the rules, she knew the plan. She helped each teacher aid and fan. And if the meeting blocked the way, don't worry, she still got her forms that day. She worked ahead so all was set with a foresight few will never forget. Her legacy is clear to see, excellence through efficiency. So here's to 8, whose work ran deep, whose care was constant, wide, and steep. They taught through lessons, smiles, and deeds, by meeting countless human beings. Through classrooms shift and offices change, their influences will always remain. In every student's newfound grace, in every smile throughout this place. So raise a cheer, lift it high, let grateful voices fill the sky. For though they leave these halls today, their harbor echoes here will stay.
Thank you, Linda. Once again, We're just going to deviate a little bit. The reason we're all here is for our kids, and we have a couple of junior high students who are going to present what's going on in the junior high. We'll have them come up, and then we'll take our pictures with our retirees and our tenure recipients. But these guys need to get home, finish their homework, and get ready for school tomorrow. The reason why we're here. Thank you, guys.
Good evening, everyone. We are part of the Junior High Student Council. I'm Teddy Terrell.
I'm Darius Banner.
I'm Mila Silverman. Since we were here in January, much has happened. We want to share with you some of the amazing events that went on in the latter half of the year.
In January, the 8th grade took an exciting trip to New York City. We explored Chinatown and Little Italy, visited the Tenement Museum, saw Alexander Hamilton's grave, and admired the historic Woolworth building. It was an unforgettable experience and a great opportunity to walk through the history we've been learning about in class.
The 7th and 8th graders had a great time dancing the night away at the junior high winter dance. Students enjoyed games, music, dancing, and of course, plenty of great snacks. The DJ was a huge hit and kept the energy high all night. There was a competitive game of musical chairs where students enjoyed the night with friends. Thank you to the PTG for contributing to the dance with the DJ. It made all the difference.
For Valentine's Day, students were able to purchase candy grams for their friends, complete with a personal note. The proceeds helped support upcoming Junior High Student Council end-of-the-year events. In total, we sold around 250 candy grams, spreading happiness throughout both the junior high and the high school.
On March 5th, the district hosted Sports Night, giving our school community the chance to come together and watch our teachers show off their skills beyond the classroom. It was a fun and exciting event that supported Corley's Promise, an organization that is especially meaningful to Cold Spring Harbor community. It raised over $15,000.
On March 12th, students proudly celebrated their heritage at International Night by sharing their cultures and talents from around the world. International Club advisor Miss Monk Rowley and the senior officers organized an incredible event featuring cultural displays, food stations, and student performances. The evening also included both student-led and staff-led performances.
The junior high musical Grease was a huge success. Students showcased their talents for the Cold Spring Harbor community with memorable performances, including crowd favorites like Grease Lightning. While many students brought their talents on stage, others played an equally important role behind the scenes as part of the stage crew. A big thank you goes to Ms. Buttafico for her guidance and dedication in making the production such a success.
Being inducted into the National Junior Honor Society reflects far more than strong grades. It represents a commitment to scholarship, leadership, service, character, and citizenship. These are qualities built through consistent hard work and respect for others. More than 80 students inducted exemplify these values and have now joined a long line of Cold Spring Harbor members who represent the very best of what our school stands for.
With the closing of the year, we will still be busy. Here are a few upcoming events for our junior high can look forward to.
The 8th grade is excited for their upcoming trip to Washington, D.C. in 2 weeks. During this 3-day trip, students will tour government buildings, museums, and national monuments. It will be a great opportunity to learn outside classroom and strengthening connections as students. On behalf of the entire 8th grade, we would also like to thank the Board of Education for their help in easing the financial burden for our families by approving the district to cover a portion of the trip.
The junior high spring concert is quickly approaching, and students and teachers have been preparing all winter and spring. In past years, this concert has been a great success, and we're excited to continue the tradition once again this year. Thank you to Mr. Hoffler, Ms. Segali, Dr. Blashin, and Mr. Gorini for their leadership and dedication.
Our annual Unity event will take place at the end of May. This event allows our 6th and 7th graders to come together and enjoy barbecue, games, and a fun afternoon of community building.
Soon, our excited incoming 6th graders will visit the junior-senior high school to get familiar with the building before officially starting in September. These tours will be led by select 7th and 8th grade students who will help give them a sense of what a typical day as a junior high student looks like.
To wrap up the year, the 8th grade is looking forward to the yearbook signing. Students will come together in the courtyard to spend time with one another and sign each other's yearbooks. We also hope some of our middle school teachers will be able to join and sign them as well. It will be a meaningful way to celebrate the end of the year and our time as junior high students. Thank you and have a good evening.
Stand over here, our retirees over here, we have some gifts for you. We can take some pictures, and then we'll go outside after that to have some cake to celebrate. So come on down. So let's get a picture of all of our retirees first. Get your angle right, Karen. Thank you. Our 10th.
president's report. As my president's report tonight, I would like to share an update with the community regarding the teachers' contract negotiations. At the April 23rd meeting with the HTA, the negotiating team expressed the board's willingness to accept the findings and recommendations of the independent state-appointed fact finder as the terms of the agreement. That's that, and with that, I will turn the meeting over to Joe for his superintendent.
Thank you, Heather. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the May 5th board meeting. I hope the beautiful weather we enjoyed this past Sunday returns again to the upcoming weekend as we celebrate Mother's Day. It's a special time to honor the remarkable women in our lives who give so much of themselves each and every day. Whether the day is spent with family and friends or quiet reflection, it's filled with love, appreciation, and gratitude for all that they do. As we continue into the spring season, our schools are truly alive with energy and accomplishments. Classrooms are filled with meaningful learning experiences, and our students continue to demonstrate growth and a commitment to doing their best. Just last week, we successfully concluded the grades 3 through 8 ELA and math assessments. These assessments represent an important opportunity for students to demonstrate their progress and for us to reflect on our instructional practices. I want to take a moment to thank our students for their focus and for the efforts throughout the testing period. The state had an issue with the system on day one, but the students and staff went with the flow and successfully administered the assessments the following 2 days. We also have AP testing this next week across the high school. This is another rigorous and rewarding experience for our students. Their determination, hard work, and resilience continue to inspire us all. Best luck to them and to Dylan, who has an exam tomorrow morning. We're also grateful for the continued support for our community, most recently demonstrated through the Barnes & Noble fundraiser this past weekend, which raised over $2,000 of support for Westside. Thank you to everyone who participated, and to the Westside PTG and Ms. Geiser for organizing and promoting the event. Thank you very much. As we move further into this busy and exciting spring season, there are many wonderful student experience and events on the horizon. In coming weeks, our students will participate in our annual trips to Philadelphia and the 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C., both meaningful opportunities that bring learning to life beyond the classroom. We also look forward to a wide range of concerts and performances that showcase the incredible talents of our students. On May 20th at 7 p.m., we invite the entire community to attend Grok Night in the Senior Commons. This special evening celebrates our students involved in the award-winning Grok publication, providing them the opportunity to proudly share their writings and creative work. Additional special events include the Junior Prom at the Swan Club, the West Side Run on May 17th, Ellis Island Senior High Concert and Art Exhibition, and the 6th and 7th grade Unity Dance, and so much more. We are so incredibly proud to recognize the students and staff for earning 13 nominations for the Huntington Tony Awards this year. The awards ceremony will take place on Monday, June 8th at Harvard Fields High School, with the red carpet beginning at 6 p.m. and the show starting at 7. In addition, we are honored to share that our district has once again been recognized as an NAMM Foundation as one of the best communities for music education, marking the 3rd consecutive year for receiving this distinction. This recognition reflects the strength of our music programs and the dedication of our students and staff. Looking ahead, on May 11th at 7 p.m., the PAC CPC will host Meet the Candidates Night, providing an opportunity for community members to hear directly from those running from the Board of Education. The following week, on Tuesday, May 19th, we will have an annual budget vote and ward election in the field house. Those will open at 6 a.m. and close at 9. We encourage all eligible residents to participate. As in years past, student artwork from across the district will proudly be on display throughout the field house for you to enjoy. And for the upcoming 4-day Memorial Day weekend, we will share time to honor and remember the brave men and women who gave their lives in service of our country. Thank you, as always, for your continued support and partnership. This is truly an exciting time across our schools. Heather?
This is the first discussion section of our agenda. open the floor to any other discussion items from the members of the Board of Education. Bill?
Thank you. I think, as we've discussed over the last few meetings, we'll probably hear a budget presentation tonight. We have a lot of capital work to do over the next 5 years. A lot of money, and so what I wanted to propose for consideration is that we create a companion committee to the Capital Facilities Committee. So my vision would be the Capital and Facilities Committee continues prioritizing what work gets done, but then we have a new committee that thinks about the financing and whether we go for a bond for something or whether we can pay for it out of our working capital. So I wanted to get thoughts and see if we can do that.
Thoughts on Bill's proposal?
Yeah, capital improvement was usually the committee that talked about the prioritization to bring to the board. Right, so do we already have a committee for that?
I think we need to talk about how we're going to pay for things. So I think that's a lot of work and a separate discussion from prioritization.
Do you think that that should be a separate committee that meets and just speaks about that?
Well, yeah, because I think one of the issues is we're constrained in members to the Capital Facilities Committee because you have quorum and but having a sort of a companion committee to work together but not be in the same meetings necessarily, I think would be something I'd like to see. Because I do think the financing is complex.
So you're thinking just board members and administration for that committee?
I didn't really think about that. That's a good point. But certainly would include board members when we said, people in the community about,
That's what I was
aspects. I think
would
that's.
it be the same way that we formed the other committee where we send it out to the community and we see who's interested?
I wouldn't do that as a first step. I just wanted to see if we could get board interest in it, having 2 or 3 people serve, and then I think we would evaluate whether we need help. I think there's less complexity with the financing and some of the other stuff we're getting advice on.
So you're asking us to vote on the
Not even to vote, just, I don't even know if we need to vote. I'm not sure what our process is to add committees.
Right, so for reorg, right, in July is when we would normally do a committee. So I think what we talked about for other committees that we were thinking of doing, putting together proposals, right, to get them set for the next year.
Right, we were also discussing at, I think it was the last meeting, doing committees with parent groups and discussing sort of parent groups. So maybe we can add that to the discussion and.
Are you thinking at our retreat or at our reorg to do this?
I think, well, you assign committee members at reorg, right? So it would make sense to do it before reorg.
Yeah.
Have another meeting.
You know what I'd like to add on to the workload for the committee? I like the idea of that because many ways to fund those programs, and some are more expensive than others. So if we can, really sit down and do multi-year planning, we might be able to save either interest or fees. So I think that's well worth the exercise. I would add maybe onto that committee, one thing I was going to discuss so I can cross it off my list, is you know how last meeting we did which I appreciate, thank you for the Excel spreadsheets when we had each segment, whether it be athletics or West Side or Lloyd Barber, and then the line items. That committee could work with and have the new purchasing manager who we allocated. They could be included in that committee, and they can look in more intensive detail on line items that we really didn't get too deep into the weeds on, and with the purchasing manager, and do it well before we're at crunch time to submit a budget, and they can identify areas that we might be able to either purchase better, eliminate, or, and I think we could save money and redeploy it into other areas that we want to fund. And that could be part of, this kind of finance committee can also take on the role of and I don't think it should be, I don't know if we can have it open to the community. If we have board members on it and we're looking at certain matters, if we can have community members, that would be great, because there's certainly people with good financial acumen in this district, but if we can't, at least let's do the exercise so we roll into budget season having already looked at last year's expenditures, meaning this budget, and then when we do the add-on, we've already kind of kicked the tires on last year's budget, so when we add those forward, or we've identified areas that, we can do this differently better, or the purchasing manager's aware, let's work on doing a better job.
And we will definitely be able to do that much easier this year on how we created the budget. As you saw, you have like 140 pages or so of every single line item as it does, and I want to congratulate Allison for working, getting that done this year. It'll be much easier to track the expenses here, to see where everything was coded and to see where there was maybe over budget a little, or maybe we were a little tight on things, or something unexpected happened and came up and we needed funding or the like. So I think that's a good idea, and we'll definitely much more easily be able to do it going forward and how we build the budget this year with the data we have.
And then that committee would spend, much more time focusing, and they could make recommendations to the larger board. Of course, members not on the committee can certainly ask questions and bring up items for discussion, but I think it's just, it's just a more, I don't know, characterize it. I think that approach would work better. Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, we had a meeting last week with our booster club. They had subsequently submitted some requests. How are we going to proceed next steps with their request? Is there a process undertaking?
So the next step, I think the biggest step is forming that committee. So we drafted an email to go out to the community requesting the people to be on, just like the committee we assigned for buildings. So you have that, and I think if there are no agreements on how we'll send that, I could send that tomorrow. We'll slightly just change the end date to give people roughly a week to sign up. We will select from there, and similar to what we were just talking about finance, the same thing to talk about getting experts in the field from the community or experts here in the district to help map and plan some things related to the arts. We could do that.
So the committee formation was one of the requests of the Booster Club. The other requests were actual slots for people. Does the committee have to be constituted first before that's addressed, or are we looking to fill slots now, or I'm just trying to understand what we're doing?
I think at this point we would need much more detail as to what, if we are going to do any slots, we have to find out exactly what those slots would be. I don't think we came anywhere close to on some of them having the exact details. It would have to be flushed out a lot more, whether it's something we're willing to or can do this year or next year going forward. We need more details, and I think the committee is designed to do just that, to really flush those things out. Thank you, Mark.
Next, we were gonna, I don't know if you had a chance yet to understand better what is paperless and what is not. We determined if we're actually going more paperless as a district.
So I had asked the administrators and have them get back to me to things where they're doing paper. And I will share this. I could share everything here, but also could share on our Friday notes things that are currently partly used and done with paper. There are two things right away where we think we could go paperless and do electronically, especially the attendance records when students are out. And I know Rihanna Fulton, Dr. Fulton, has been working with the junior senior high school on how to send them out electronically. Some things we could see definitely going forward using the parent square communication,
which we'll talk about that in a moment, is definitely all of our field trips, signing off on that. Some things I would like to keep that we do mail now, like National Honor Society acceptance letters. I think people really look forward to them coming in. I did look out, the military opt-out can be done via Parent Square, so we could do that. That would be one way we could save on mailing. We send out the grade 12 transcripts for them to review. I think that is something we should retain as a paper mailing. Students come in, they write on it, they get exactly what it's going to look like when we mail it to them, as opposed to it might be modified on the computer. It looks, I think it's such an important component. They sign off on that. And Mark, I will give you this. You don't have to write it all down if you don't want to.
No, I'm not writing that.
We have a bunch of other like individual, at the elementary levels, AS report cards, the special education report cards. I think those need to continue to remain sent via paper. They mentioned some things here, thank you letters and the like. Again, I think paper is really good there. And that's about the bulk of them. There are incidental paper mailings, which I don't think parents would be appropriate. Those were the things that came back from the administrators, so there are definitely things we could cut back on, but some I recommend we continue to stay at importance, and some people are looking for those things, like the Honor Society acceptance letters and the like. I could share all these in our Friday notes.
Okay, I mean, we talked about going paperless last year, so it sounds like they're still working on,
But I think some things, paper is still a good way to go.
So
Yeah.
what if people opted out though and said they didn't want to get the paper mailings? I thought that was you could say, no, thank you. I don't want the mail coming to my house anymore. And I think the mail's still coming.
Right.
I think that was the question.
yeah, I mean, we're still figuring out what we're gonna mail, what we're not, and this is many months after we voted on it. So look, I know you had West Side and all, but if we pass something, let's do it.
If you're saying some of these things, which I'm seeing my recommendations are very important. If you remember at our last board meeting, we talked about some things that people are missing because we do communicate so much. I would fear if an AS progress report gets caught in a weekly or a summary at the end of the week and a parent doesn't see that, I think it's important for they get that piece of paper. It stands out more. And that's a lot of these mailings here. Some of the things like a new family mailing, you kind of have to mail it because they're not in our system yet. Our report cards and our progress reports are all done electronically. I guess our acceptance letters for the National Honor Society, if we really want to
I
assign
think it's
like,
every single honor roll letter though that's still going.
Yeah.
I think that's listen, it's really nice to get the honor roll letters, but I'm just saying that I think people who opted out are still getting the honor roll letters.
Yes. I mean, if you opt out and then you still get it, we look like we're not even, it was just a fake exercise.
It's really nice, but if you have multiple kids getting honor roll letters, it's a lot of mail.
we
but
can
it's also
definitely do the honor roll
nice.
component.
Wanted to get I know we got something about the bus routes. Is there, are we doing, maybe have the bus consultant come and present like how we can save money on our bus costs and maybe optimizing or using smaller buses that are rolling in? I know we had some information on it, but I just want to make sure we're not going to stop pursuing those savings.
Absolutely not. We have about 2 weeks worth of data, which I have to say, I don't think is long enough to collect on how students are utilizing the buses. I know we discussed that last time, that depending upon the season, so we'll continue to collect that through the end of the school year and the beginning of next year. If we think we have enough data at the end of the year, maybe we can look into that, and we have to make sure that if parents don't want a bus, maybe it's an opt-out or an opt-in for that. We would have to discuss that. Right now, we do provide a bus seat for every student. And we can see right now, some of them are under 50% utilization in the morning. I can't guarantee if it's the same students every day or not. So we have to take that into account. We have had some discussions with the preliminary data that we've seen with our transportation person, Dawn, and we think maybe we can have some efficiencies. We need to look to see on the buses. Some of it is also a time commitment. You combine 2 buses together because we see low enrollment, but does that bus ride now become an hour and a half or something? So it's more than just numbers, it's also location and the like. So we have to take all that into account. But we definitely want to look into our expert we use for efficiency and where we can save money with busing.
I mean, I know you have a lot on your plate, but if you can direct somebody to take ownership, because there's definitely money to be saved. And we have to just look at our contract and see if we can switch to smaller buses, or if they're running, like you said, route optimization, let's make the consultant do, break a sweat.
Well, I'm in agreement. I wasn't aware that we were going to wait until sometime into the next school year to try to look into this. I thought that we were going to try to consolidate some buses sooner rather than later. I thought the story was that sometimes it's hard because of sports in the afternoon, that the drivers who are driving the big buses can't come back then if we have the small buses. But there's got to be somewhere to trim the fat before the next school year. It's so much money that we're spending on buses, and some of these bus routes have like 9 kids running on a bus that's for 60 kids.
Right, when we, 2 weeks ago, I couldn't say we would have done something this year or not because we didn't have any of the data yet. So, if we think we want to start now on cutting back on buses,
Or maybe at least take a poll for next year. Some people know they're always going to drive their kids.
I don't know if they'll turn down the bus.
Right, they'll say they're gonna take it. Our better approach would be to optimize the routes.
Did you say you'll turn down the bus?
I
And-
turn them.
Well, you live on this street.
I still drive my kid as annoying
I
as it is.
know. You live right
not
here.
next year.
Thank you, Lisa, on behalf of the district. Good job.
Well, I think for a number of years, though, there was a push for people to take the bus and not drive to keep traffic down, right?
Yeah.
So that was the other push, especially here. It was like, please don't drive, please put your kids on the bus, but people are driving anyway. So if it is possible, I mean, Joe, even if it's, and Allison, even if it's possible to look at like 6 buses and see if you could get those down to 3, instead of looking at all of, like, are there any of those bus routes? Can Dawn look at it and say, there's some bus routes here where I know there's overlap in the neighborhoods or something, something she can identify as being close by. I don't think you want to combine probably like the Fiddler's Green and Lloyd Lane buses, right? Things like that, but there might be
But
buses
maybe
in
change the
Midland
bus
that are
stop.
picking up close by.
But maybe you could change the bus stop in between 2 routes.
Yeah, but some of them are going, my point is, some of them are going 2 or 3 miles off of a main road and back, but some of them are going through neighborhoods that are next to each other.
That's why I want the consultant to come and present to us, because I want to see they're putting some thought into this. If you take 2 bus routes and you're able to get rid of them, you're talking, that's the coral reef we turned down.
Right.
I mean, let's go.
One of
Anyway,
these buses is supposed to have 46 kids and the average is 1.3. Some days it's 0.
But
the update,
So I just want to make sure that we don't skip this here. So what we're looking to is to look now, and we have about 2 weeks worth of data on consolidating bus runs this year. I want to make sure that's what we're saying.
oh, this consultant should be doing this anyway. Like, how much are we paying this person? And how long have they been doing this job? Years, right?
Well, the consultant was to get the bus route, and we bus every child, so the assumption is they're taking the bus. Now we're saying,
I'd like to know how much they're getting paid and what's their work product, because they should constantly be looking at optimizing bus routes and utilization to save us money. Otherwise, why are we paying them?
are we saying that we're not going to be providing a bus seat for every student?
I'd like the job description of our consultant.
I think that's what we would have to do then.
What they've done to earn their money and how much we pay them. That's what I would love to know.
Well, but Joe, I don't think we're saying that we're going to provide a bus for every student who's taking the bus. So, because not every student is taking the bus every day. I think we'd be hard pressed to find any bus that's got 100% attendance every day. I mean, we could ask the bus drivers, has they ever had 100% attendance on their bus?
I mean, definitely, if you look at our last 2 weeks, it's clear that we're not having 100%.
But I think part of it is we have to make sure, is it, and I don't know this
Even if
right
it's
now.
50% at the beginning of the year, most of these buses aren't even close to 50%. Like,
Yeah.
the bus drivers probably also have a good sense of how many kids they pick up every day. You could probably ask any 9-year-old who takes the bus every day on their bus, they could tell you.
And we could see it in the last 2 weeks, we could clearly see a third at the best in some of these.
What we're really looking to do is adding two routes together and making one long route.
Or it may be
Or
eliminating one
or
route
using
into
smaller
two.
buses.
But Heather, we should be looking at anything, that's why we're paying a consultant. Why are we looking at that?
Well-
Like, in other words, the consultant should be presenting that to us as a board.
Well, I'm just trying to, think we have to direct the consultant as to what we are looking to
just
do.
wanna look at
We're
their
not looking to
contract.
actually cut the door-to-door service for
I
every
think the
student.
consultant needs to determine how many kids are taking the bus and how he can realistically change those routes. And he needs to figure out whether it's sending out a survey or whether it's sending in during COVID, we sent a survey came out from the district and said, will you be taking the bus? And you committed for the whole year. I don't see why they couldn't do that now.
Could ask.
But I think the consultant could come up with those ideas.
Yes.
All right,
So,
yeah.
sorry,
Go ahead.
we're clear, we're going to try to do this work certainly before the next school year.
Well, and if we have a consultant who can do it, can't we just ask them to get this done for us? And Joe, then it's not another project for you, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, could
Just
you,
wanna make sure
could you
we-
put this contract in Friday notes? I want to see his scope of work.
Absolutely. Right, yes.
Because if he's not paying for himself or she's not paying for himself, why are we even using them? I mean, they have to add value. If we spend money on a consultant, they have to return more than we put out. Okay. Allowance report audit, what's the status of that?
So I spoke to our internal auditors, and they're going to begin the work later this month into June, but I've already spoken to our clerical, who really keeps a lot of the paperwork for our capital projects, and she's going to begin pulling items that she knows that they're going to ask her for. So
Good.
it's going to start in a couple of weeks, but we're already doing some of that work in advance to move it along once it starts.
And is this starting now or soon because we had a triage and we had so much work on the budget that it get deferred?
Not really. The audit committee was meeting, we had an audit committee meeting scheduled when I first got here. We didn't have a quorum, so we were unable to discuss the findings of the risk assessment and the detailed testing on employee benefits, which was actually covering the prior school year's requirement for detailed testing. So once we were able to have the audit committee reconvene, we were able to meet. The committee was able to accept the findings of the internal auditor, discuss the upcoming audit and what the audit committee recommended. So it's actually all moved along at a pretty good pace. And we had the agreement drafted, then the board discussed it, the board accepted the agreement, and now the work is going to start in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much. Last topic is, how many people have we had respond to the RFP for construction manager, and where does that stand? Because we're going to need to bring one on soon.
So the deadline was originally going to be May 8th, but we have extended it into next week. So we don't have any responses yet because it hasn't been due. So the addendum was just posted on the website this morning. I emailed all of the companies that we have gotten in touch with for the RFP about the 1-week extension. And then usually you get the RFPs in that day or a couple of days before. So we haven't received any yet.
So the RFP was updated this morning?
Yes, it was really just an addendum to extend the date.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
That's it. It wasn't updated in any other way.
There was no other changes?
No.
Anything anything on that, Mr. M, about the RFP?
No, we're still having to get our 5-year plan from Michael Mark. It's hard for some people to bid out as to what they want to do the work on when they don't know the full scope of the work. You know that a 5-year plan is coming out. The biggest part being the roofs, which I believe tomorrow we're meeting with Michael Mark, he will have a 5-year plan ready for us with estimate, and we can go forward with that. The RFP was somewhat vague because we didn't know all the work we have to do. Would definitely help us and help those who want to say they want to work with Cold Spring Harbor, but understanding we have a 5-year building condition plan.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, we will now move to committee reports and the work that has occurred since our last board meeting. I believe technology has met, policy, anyone else? So, technology first, please.
Sure. So the tech committee had their last meeting of the year on April 23rd at the junior senior high school library. Some of the items discussed included the district needing to update the NIST 2.0 framework during the next school year and the pending delivery of the new Chromebooks for the future grades 4, 7, and 10. Next year, the committee will meet quarterly and will look to survey students and staff to get more feedback. A monthly tech podcast might also be on the horizon. Something new for the 2026-2027 school year is that digital PSAT, SAT, ACT prep is available for all high school students, so remind them to go to Albert IO and methodize on ClassLink starting this summer. And also, Dr. Fulton showed us that our students, you can also do AP reviews on Albert IO. Some of the classes are already using that, and your child may not be telling. So thank you to Dr. Fulton for providing me with amazing notes this year. I appreciate it.
Policy committee, thank you, Lisa.
Short policy, we met on April 17th, and we had an interesting discussion about the use of Uber during school hours. So, we discussed concerns about people who are not, who are strangers coming on campus to pick children up. So we decided that we probably do need to consider a policy as a board, but we're not ready to do that. I think we're going to wait and talk to the Safety and Security Committee about advice about how best to implement this if we do go this route. We would have to determine things like what process, if somebody did want to use it, would be followed, which would be sort of a building level policy. The second thing we talked about was the committee does a lot of work on reviewing policies, and so one of the cornerstone policies we have is number 100, which deals with equal opportunity and non-discrimination. And so we did some work to rearrange the wording in the policy and to make consistent the list of attributes that we protect under our policy and under the law. So we're doing more work on it, and we'll bring that to the board.
Do we have a rule about kids calling an Uber here currently?
No.
So they can't take an Uber?
Right, and one of the things we want to get from Mr. Dambusky or from the safety committee is how things actually do work now. We were talking about the sign-out procedures. We were talking about whether people know Uber's coming. So I think what we're thinking about, and this is premature, but a policy might look something like if you need for some reason to have your child picked up during school hours by an Uber, you would have to probably give some sort of notice to the district, waiver. You probably need to follow the same or better procedure that you would do in signing out the child. So that's the types of things we want to discuss, but we need more time on it.
Is there a prohibition on food deliveries here?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I would say it's also the Uber, it may not just be a junior, senior high thing. It could be something go down to elementary. We see it coming. I reached out to local superintendents.
You're not really allowed to get an Uber under a certain age according to the
13.
Uber rules, right? So it depends, well, that's with a teen account too.
Right,
If it's
well,
a
that-
regular
that's-
Uber account, you
yeah.
would legally can't get into, I think if you're under 16 or 17.
Well, that's one of the things we talked
Yeah.
about, so if we bring this back to the board, one of the things might be that we insist there is a teen account, and the parent would have to tell us that up front.
Yeah, but if it's a 9-year-old, Uber shouldn't either.
No, absolutely, we want to make sure parents don't think that's okay. The pickup line comes around and the kid waves and they get into the car. We don't think that happens, but we want to make sure that parents know that's not happening. I have spoken to other superintendents, and they see this coming too as a possible issue coming down the road. It's just only going to become more and more used. It's not going to go away, and then even have the chance where there are driverless cars.
Yeah, I was just-
So it's coming, so I think we'd rather be ahead of the game on this topic in order to get safe.
Eva? All right, we now will conduct the budget hearing meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn the regular board meeting for the budget hearing meeting? First, Bill. Second. Lisa, any questions? All in favor? Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Allison Offerman Salentano to conduct the budget hearing meeting.
All right, thank you very much to the Board of Education and Mr. Monastero for the opportunity to conduct this state mandated budget hearing. So each year we are required to present to the Board of Education and to the public in the form of a budget hearing, the budget that will be voted on by the community on May 19th. The budget hearing has to take place between 7 to 14 days before the budget vote. So this is exactly 14 days before the budget vote. So this is the earliest date that we could have conducted this budget hearing. So just as a review of the calendar, we are getting near the end. We are conducting the budget hearing this evening. On Monday, there is a Meet the Candidates night right here at the PAC, starting at 7 p.m. And then we do have our school budget vote and trustee election, again here, but in the Ralph Whitney Fieldhouse between the hours of 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. So just as a reminder, we draft the budget with the Board of Education goals in mind, making sure that we are keeping those at the forefront of every decision that we make when we decide what we are going to be focusing on, both within a building and departmentally throughout the district. We also make sure that we are keeping health and safety at the forefront, ensuring that items such as any AEDs or items for nurses' offices are kept within the budget to keep health and safety as a priority. We make sure that we are providing information to the Board of Education throughout the budget process in detail and to the community to really keep maximizing our financial transparency. We always keep in mind teaching and learning, making sure that every decision that we make helps to maintain or enhance our student programming to improve learning. And we do all this within the framework of building a fiscally responsible budget, making sure that we cover all of our needs and we balance our wants within a fiscally responsible revenue stream. Speaking of revenue, we are required to present a balanced budget to the community every year where revenues equal expenses. So we take a look at our state aid, we look at any other revenue, we think about what amount of reserves and from which reserves we want to pledge towards the revenue side of the budget. And we do this all at the same time that we build the expenditure side of the budget. And again, I really do want to thank the entire administration, building, departmental, and central administration, because this is truly a team effort to build the budget. And everybody did a tremendous job this year, really digitizing their work to make it easier going forward. So thank you all very much for your hard work and your collaboration in building this budget. We do not have a New York State budget, so this budget was supposed to be passed on April 1st, and the state has now passed their 9th one-week extension through tomorrow. So our state aid remains an estimate from New York State. So the proposed budget is for $83,952,407, which represents a budget-to-budget increase of 2.41%. We are going out to the community with a tax levy of $73,857,674, and that represents a 2.69% levy-to-levy increase, which is under the tax levy limit of 3.45%. So this chart has been shown at several meetings. It's just been modified slightly. So between the blue bars, it's represented 14 years of tax levy history in the Cold Spring Harbor School District. Within those 14 years, 50% of the time, we have levied to the maximum allowable cap, and 50% of the time, we've levied below the cap. We have not pierced the cap in this 14-year history. And on the bottom is the proposal for the upcoming school year, where once again, we are going to the community with a 2.69% proposed tax levy increase, which is under the allowable cap of 3.45%. So we're excited about some of the new additions to the budget, some of the highlights. We continue with our partnerships with the DNA Learning Center, our commitment to research throughout the district. We know it's incredibly important to provide numerous opportunities, K through 12, for students to think critically, learn problem-solving skills, and we do so in all of our classes, as well as in our creative learning labs, our coding activities, and through artistic expression. And we're really excited about the new course offerings that we have, including real estate, advanced placement cybersecurity, advanced placement business with personal finance, honors select chorale, art and science of observation, and more increased summer research opportunities, which include both science and social science research opportunities for our students. We also are really proud of, again, some of these additions that align with the board goals, including a real focus on our counseling center, on our guidance department, with our counselors visiting colleges to really liaise with the admissions departments to learn what they're looking for and help us to help our students to be successful in their quest to attend the four-year college of their choice. And our guidance director, Ms. Alamia, has created a 3-year plan to that effect. We're also excited about the additional supports that we have in the budget for our teachers to, again, really reach that mastery goal of the Board of Education, including math and literacy coaches at the elementary level, an additional science specialist, and a part-time music teacher. We are also very proud of our continued expansion of our ICT model, our full-time ICT model in grades 1 through 12. And we are also really proud to support our students who are looking to get a more vocational education through BOCE's occupational education, and we've provided money in the budget to do so. We are also committed to our continued support of the arts, athletics, and extracurriculars. We have funding for our partnerships in the arts, as well as all of our performances and our musicals and our concerts. We're also preserving all the extracurricular funding for junior, senior high school, and we've expanded the funding for extracurriculars for our elementary buildings, and looking to continue and enhance all of those programs that once again help support our excellence of teaching and learning in Cold Spring Harbor. We have money in the budget for professional development for our teachers as well, training in literacy and in AP courses, as well as continuing to support the changes that are happening within the Regents courses. We have a robust facilities budget, which helps us to purchase some pretty neat new equipment that we're excited about. We are digitizing the HR office, so really excited about the innovations that Mr. Taylor is going to be putting into place to help really increase the efficiencies there, and also to widen the scope of our outreach when we are recruiting candidates for positions all throughout the district. We continue to put money in the budget for flexible furniture to modernize our spaces and also to make sure that our furniture is refreshed on a rotating basis. And Dr. Fulton has done an amazing job building a budget that will help keep our technology continuing to be refreshed and modernized so that she is supporting everything that's going on in the classroom as well. So this is a summary of our budget. On the left-hand side, you see the revenue. On the right-hand side, the expenditure, and broken out in detail. And what's highlighted here is, once again, the requirement that we build a balanced budget. So you'll notice that the revenue side equals the expenditure side, again, at that amount of $83,952,407 at a 2.69% tax levy. This just shows it in a pie graph, so it's the same information, but depicted in a slightly different way. And what this really does show is that the majority of the revenue for our community comes from the tax levy, and that the bulk of the money in the expenditure side goes to instruction and everything that supports instruction and our instructional staff. So we are required to present to the public and the Board of Education the budget broken out into three components: the administrative, capital, and program. Administrative is exactly what that sounds like. It's all things administrative. So it's all the people in administration, the related benefits, the clerical support staff, the supplies and equipment for those offices, as well as legal fees and auditors and debt service. The capital component is largely the facilities department, again, all the people and benefits within, as well as all the supplies and equipment that support our facilities department. And program is the largest part of the budget. This is all of the aspects of the budget that support teaching and learning, all of our teachers, all our clerical that support teaching and learning in the buildings, and all the supplies and equipment that go along with that. So again, this is our three-part budget in a pie graph, once again illustrating how the majority of our budget is really dedicated to the program. So it's also important to present during the budget hearing process what happens if we have to adopt a contingency budget. So we will go to the voters on May 19th with our budget that's being presented this evening. If for any reason that budget does not pass, then we can go to the voters with the same exact budget or an amended budget in June. Or the Board of Education can elect to immediately adopt a contingency budget. So a contingency budget is calculated by taking a few things into account. You cannot increase the tax levy. You can't purchase any new equipment in the upcoming school year. You cannot enter into any new multi-year contracts. And you cannot have any new capital work, so the entire transfer to capital line goes away. Then there's also some fun math involved with the administrative cap. So you have to compare this year's administrative cap with next year's or the proposed budget's administrative cap, and you need to make sure that your contingency budget equals the lesser of the two. So in this case, that would be this year's administrative component. The math calculations are up there for you, and that's the most complicated part of creating a contingency budget. With all of the areas taken out, the Board of Education would still need to decide on reductions in the amount just shy of $74,000, because it is the Board of Education's responsibility to ultimately determine what is a contingent expense and what is a non-contingent expense in this budget. So also on May 19th, in addition to the budget, we have the school board trustee election. We have 5 candidates running for 3 seats with 3-year terms beginning July 1st, 2026. In ballot order, which was drawn at random, the 5 candidates are Mary Rennick, Kate Della Carpini, William Woolman, Scott Kaufman, and Lisa Smith. So this concludes the budget hearing, which is why there's a nice green check there. Again, upcoming, we have Meet the Candidates Night on Monday at 7 p.m. right here at the PAC. We have our budget vote and trustee election on May 19th. at the junior senior high school at the Ralph Whitney Fieldhouse. Please come out and vote. So what is on the ballot? We have proposition number 1, which is the budget. Resolved that the school district budget for the 2026-2027 school year proposed by the Board of Education in accordance with section 1716 of the education law shall be approved. And then the second item on the ballot are the members of the Board of Education, 3 terms of 3 years, July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029. Vote for no more than 3. Again, in order, drawn by random: Mary Redden, Kate Della Carpini, William Woolman, Scott Kaufman, and Lisa Smith. So thank you very much for your attention to the budget hearing, the mandatory budget hearing. At this time, I'm happy to take any questions from the audience or the Board of Education.
I just have one.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 years ago at my Meet the Candidates night, one of the themes from parents were what we're doing to foster an environment, critical thinking. I said I certainly will work towards that, and I support that. I took a class in college. It's actually the one I did the worst in, so I'm not a critical thinker, sadly. But anyway, the one in college, we were deconstructing arguments, applying logic, questioning assumptions, and here it says creative learning labs, coding, research, artistic. I guess this is more for Ms. Libertini. What are we doing to foster critical thinking? And I'm not questioning that we are or not. I just want to understand, so I'm doing what I said I would do when I said I will hopefully foster an environment. So fire away.
So I think critical thinking is embedded in all of our instruction K-12. We focus on real-world problem solving. We believe in inquiry-based learning. So when we think about a creative learning lab, it's posing, challenges to students given specific constraints, allowing students the ability to creatively develop their solutions. Sometimes those solutions are in collaboration with other students, and sometimes they are independent. I think inside classrooms on a daily basis, we're encouraging and fostering an environment and a culture where our teachers are challenging students to work collaboratively to solve problems. If you think about examples in virtual enterprise, our students are challenged with developing a business, coming up with that model, pitching that model, and marketing that model in environments that are competitive. So they show up to basically showcases to develop those things. I see that in science where they are challenged with the New York State Science Learning Standards, which pose real-world scenarios, and the students then apply the various.
Well, let me just cut you off to save time. It says this budget, one of the highlights is critical thinking. So what is new in this budget that we weren't doing before that fosters critical? Were those, everything you mentioned, new, or you were just mentioning what we do to promote critical thinking? What about this budget is new that fosters critical thinking?
So our illustrative math program that we certainly expanded now next year from grades 3 through 6 is really conceptual understanding in mathematics. It's focused on hands-on manipulative-based mathematics where students are demonstrating their learning, which is very different than what we might have seen in our standard math classroom. So that is new for the upcoming year. We are increasing the total number of laboratory experiences in the sciences through the implementation of our new science specialist, where our K and 1 will be doing more hands-on learning in sciences. So that's the second area where we'll see an increase. We have increased the components in our science research program to include the marine wet lab components. So you'll see that new course that we introduced which is Marine Research Honors, where we're taking the skills that they've learned in the Marine Research Series, and now they're expanding their research experiences specific to Marine, which is then going to increase our overall ability to achieve at competition long-term. That's what our goal is, because there's very few categories or very few students that enter in that Marine category, which is where an expansion exists. I think if you think about the AP Business and Personal Finance and the model of that class, that also is real-world applications based, where and the new AP model really is career and tech readiness. So we're applying career skills in multiple new APs. If you think about the real estate course, that too is real-world problem solving. The students themselves are learning how to gain skills in real estate, to earn their real estate license, but also to take those skills and what that would look like in a real-world environment.
And do we offer, I'm sorry, last question, do we offer a classic, and those are all great examples, and thank you for doing that. Do we offer a classic course in critical thinking in the classic sense, where you are deconstructing and understanding the composition of arguments and how to identify them?
So if you're asking, and correct me if I'm wrong, so if you're asking the question, do we have a course titled that, I would have to answer no. But if you're asking whether or not we deconstruct arguments, I would say speech and debate certainly does that. You know, we have that experience for our students. I would say that, you know, science research is deeply embedded in science research because they have to develop a thesis and then provide substantial evidence and investigate it themselves. So you see it in certainly those courses. I will say also, all of the sciences as we move forward, especially next year in chemistry and physics, but we've seen it now in earth and space science and life science biology, they are evidence-based, where the students have to develop arguments based on clear pieces of evidence, and often it's multiple pieces of evidence that they are justifying reasoning.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? All right, can I have a motion to return to the regular board meeting? A first, Lisa, a second. Mark, any questions? All in favor? We will now continue with our first audience to visitors. Cold Spring Harbor Board of Education Administration welcome your attendance at Board of Education meetings. Audience to the public affords residents an opportunity to address the Board of Education on both agenda and non-agenda items. Each resident is allowed to speak for 3 minutes. This is not the forum to discuss student or staff-specific issues. Please contact the district separately on these matters. Okay, who's present to ask a question? We now move forward to the approval of the minutes on page 3. For the April 2nd, 2026 minutes, Lisa, Bill, and myself are absent. May I have a first? Alex, a second. Bruce, any questions? All in favor? Moving on to the April 2026 minutes. Bruce, you are absent. May I have a first? Alex, a second. Lisa, any questions? All in favor? The April 21st, 2026 minutes. Bruce, you are absent. May I have a first? Lisa, a second. Bill, any questions? All in favor? April 28th, 2026 minutes. Bruce and Bill, you are absent. May I have a first? Lisa, a second. Alex, any questions? All in favor? We will move to personnel recommendations of the superintendent. We will take leaves, resignations, and all appointments on pages 3 through 9 as a slate. May I have a first? Lisa, a second. Bill, any questions?
I just want to thank you. We just approved Elizabeth Keating as our new director of STEM. Elizabeth, please wave. For Beth as the next 50 We're very happy to have you aboard. Thank you, Beth.
Any questions? All in favor? We now move to the business recommendations, donations. We will take the acceptance of the donations and corresponding budget adjustments on pages 9 through 10 as a slate. May I have a first? Lisa, a second? Bill, any questions?
Oh, we can talk about the donations. We see we have a donation from the Denton Avenue Student Council, local school district, $215 towards West Side. Flags for Freedom, which is going to our third year here in Cold Spring Harbor. Every senior receives a flag from a veteran. And it is really a beautiful ceremony we have. I have to say, we received, Mr. Dombuski and myself received emails and communications from graduates how they hung the flag in their dorm room, and you can see students throughout the day grasping that flag throughout the day. It is truly a wonderful thing. This is something that Kate brought into the district a couple of years ago, so just really a wonderful thing, and this is supported by our Education Foundation, so I thank them for the support. It's a great event.
Thank you. All in favor? We now move to the following business recommendations. We will take budget transfers, health service contracts, and claims auditor reports on page 10 through 11 as slate. May I have a first? Lisa, a second? Alex, any questions? All in favor? We will now take additional business matters on pages 11 through 12 as a slate. May I have a first? Lisa, a second? Bill, any questions? All in favor? We now move to special education reports. We will take contracts and CSE, CPSE approval on page 12. We have a first. Kate, a second. Lisa, any questions? All in favor? We now move to other matters on page 12 to 13 as a slate. May I have a first? Kate, a second. Lisa, any questions? All in favor? The agenda includes financial reports on page 13, and these reports are for informational purposes. No vote is necessary. If needed, Dr. Offerman Celentano will answer any questions from the Board of Education and public. Feel free to call her office. We will now continue to the second audience to visitors. There's no one present. This is now the second discussion section of our agenda, so I'll open the floor to any other discussion items from members of the Board of Education. Anyone? All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? A first? Alex, a second? Bruce? Any questions? All in favor?
Have a wonderful Mother's Day, everyone.